Hey everybody, I'm recording again. I did scrap like a 5-minute recording where I did change the size of her face here and adjusted the size of her hand. I made some adjustments because the face was looking a little bit pudgy, and I tried to make it look a little bit more proportional. But basically in this video, I'm going to be trying to clean up the line art as much as I can. Just kind of get in there, zoom in, and just fix, make adjustments. I want to try to make this quick and try to keep it smooth and expressive. Even though I'm getting in there and doing detail work, I'm trying to still maintain that energy. Now, the topic of discussion that I want to talk about is sort of a thought exploration on how I want my YouTube channel to continue to develop. Because in one of my recent videos, I was talking about how, something is working, and it's hard for me to put my finger on what it is. I can never claim to know what the YouTube algorithm is actually doing, but for some reason, some of my videos are breaking through the algorithm and reaching some people. And I can't claim to know why, but it's happening. So what I want is to just sort of trust my instincts and keep going with it and making improvements, like not according to what I believe the algorithm to be, but according to what the spirit of what I've been trying to accomplish with these videos. And I say spirit carefully, like for me it's like a set of behaviors and a set of effects that I want to have on people. Now, one person I'm thinking about is Dr. K from Healthy Gamer GG, and the way he described himself one time, which was very clever, was AOE healing, so area of effect healing, which is a gaming term meaning he's a healer, and he's a doctor, right? But what is a doctor's job? To help people heal. And what does he mean by AOE healing? That as a clinician, as a psychologist, instead of doing one-on-one sessions, he's addressing many people at once with common questions and educating them on it. So he's acting more as a teacher and an educator, but also still working as a clinician for people's specific problems. Now, I'm not, I think that's great, but I think of now as an artist, like what am I going to be doing since I'm, pretty much have an art channel. So what can I do that will sort of have an AOE effect on people, a positive effect on people? And I think of, and as you guys might have heard in some of my reflection in these videos, Bob Ross, who is the GOAT of art content creation. I mean, he is the master, and not the strongest painter in the world, but the strongest in the world at what he was doing, which was taking his personality and making a great experience for painting. He big in the ASMR spheres. I mean, he is still the #1 art content creator of all time, and I'm not sure like the statistics, but to me it seems to be the case that as far as like watching an artist do their work and then as a show, as a form of entertainment, Bob Ross like instantly comes to mind. So what was he doing as an AOE effect? And I'm thinking about him being again, the relaxing old dad character that kind of helps you learn how to paint and makes it a really fun time. He's big in ASMR, as I said, and he makes a very good relaxing experience for the viewer. My wife and I still watch him to this day. Just kind of put him on in the background and let him paint, let him do his thing, and it's wonderful. I mean, he's great at what he does. So now, bringing that to myself, the question arises, I'm not out here to copy Bob Ross, but I'm here to imitate the spirit of what he and someone like, I mentioned Fred Rogers before. What are they doing? And what do I want people to experience when they come to my channel? So there's a couple things. First of all, I'm a Catholic, right? And I know that the ultimate goal for me is, I want to share Jesus, but sure, like I'm not going to be going out on YouTube evangelizing, or am I? Is this going to become a Catholic show? I don't really know. Like, I'm Catholic, but I like to approach like naturalistic historical, psychological explanation of things, because I know that reaches people better, because it would reach me better, because I'm more of a doubting Thomas. So if I just jumped into, theology, which I'm not an expert in, I'm not a priest, I'm not a philosopher, it wouldn't like reach people, or at least it wouldn't be my strength to reach people that way. So what is my strength then? I suppose I can be a charismatic person. I can do art. My skill level is enough for YouTube, for what I'm doing. Obviously, it could be higher. I know someone else I have admired as far as like not necessarily the content, but the skill level. Kim Jong-gi, who rest in peace, and rest in peace to all these guys, Bob Ross, Fred Rogers. But Kim Jong-gi, he would do art was like a performance to him. He would teach people how to draw or show or do drawing demonstrations with his crazy skill of being able to draw huge scenes with pen and ink with no sketch. And his method and approach has influenced a lot of artists to this day. There's one like local artist who I've met and followed, where he kind of pretty much built his career off like doing well, it wasn't at first, but he was doing like these big Pokemon posters with like every Pokemon, but then he started doing these large images, with no sketch and just going in there with ink, very similar to Kim Jong-gi's style. And Kim Jong-gi has been very influential in like a lot of like modern draftsmanship, where these guys, they talk about visual library, they talk about having them in your mind and doing the reps, and it's really good. That said, even just talking about Kim Jong-gi is helping me remember how to draw a little bit. Okay. Is it a folded sleeve? It's kind of folded. It's not like it's more like a formal fold, not like a scrunched fold. So I'm going to keep that in mind as I draw this sleeve here. So thinking about what is my desired effect on you, on you who are viewing this right now. Well, if anything positive can come out of my personality, I want that to come out. So that's step one. And me, as like I'm not like super insecure about it anymore. I've gotten a lot of like support, but I've done a lot of bad things, and I mentioned that sometimes explicitly, sometimes implicitly, in my life, and I've lived a life where I have a lot of regrets, and I want to like be a good person. So that sort of not necessarily a growth mindset, but really a transformation, like a redemption mindset, not by my own merit, but for me through my faith in God, is the only way, and through His grace is the only way that I'm able to change. Have I made effort on change? Yes. And has that effort paid off? Yes, in some ways. But it doesn't mean that like my life is just completely all better by my own effort. But I can talk about the efforts that I've done, and I can talk about but I don't really want to get into my personal history. Like I want to get into my personality, and maybe some philosophies and ideas that I've learned over time. But do I want to get into big personal things? Not necessarily. If Bob Ross doing that, and was Fred Rogers doing that, they shared what they learned and their experiences, without being explicit about, what it is that they've been through. I mean, they're old guys. I'm sure they've been through a lot. And if they're doing a program like they're doing and want to help people, I'm sure it's because they recognize some kind of need. Maybe Mr. Rogers might be a person who might be someone who recognized like some kind of need to alleviate suffering, or to help kids, understand certain things before they, pay the price for it. Bob Ross, I don't know. He wanted people to experience that happiness, the joy of painting. So, pretty simple. For me, do I want people to experience the joy of drawing? Yeah, of course. I think I do want to encourage people to draw. I forgot to put that in my intro, by the way. If you want to be drawing, I hope you got your sketchbook out, and And I need to remember to put that in the intro to all these videos, just to, you know, let people know right off the bat, hey, draw with me. Let's make some art together. You know, make some doodles in your sketchbook or your notebook or your tablet or even your phone. I don't know. Make some doodles. So this cleanup process is like, I'm not thinking about it too much. I might zoom out a little bit and take a fresh look. Look at anything that's super glaring. So the things that jump at me that are super glaring are just the messy outlines on the legs and the little metallic pieces there. So as I was talking about in the last video where I was drawing these metallic pieces, I don't want to get too crazy about making them straight. As a chibi drawing, I want to make sure that everything kind of looks cartoony. So what rather than using like the straight line tool, I'm just gonna like feel it out, you know. I know that this one has a sharp point. I'm gonna put a couple lines in there. But I want this to feel like a drawing, you know? I don't want it to feel so digital. I want it to feel like I drew it. And that's something that I don't know if AI... Again, sometimes I talk about the current state of AI art, but I know it's gonna get better. I'm sure you could tell it, like, adjust it to this person's style and make it look like a, you know, sketchy, like someone really drew it. So I was about to say something about AI not capable of it, but I know that AI is going to be capable of anything and everything in the future. From understanding, you know, how machine learning works and that kind of technology, I've learned to not underestimate how it can evolve. Anyway, what was I talking about? My show. This programming that you're watching right now, that we're listening to right now. What do I intend? I do want an AOE effect. I want a positive AOE effect on people. AOE, area of effect. I want to affect as many people as possible in a good way. So this is very generally speaking, like super vague. So let's narrow it down. What effect do I want to have on people? Well, I want people to like admire nice art. The great thing about Bob Ross is that, I mean, he wasn't just some guy. Like he put in his time, he put in his reps to make good paintings. He mastered a specific technique, you know, the wet on wet oil paint that he learned from like some other guy, and then the other guy kind of resented that Bob Ross took credit for that technique or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if there was like beef there, but that's kind of one thing I read about Bob Ross. Anyway, getting to that specifics is not relevant right now. So what do I want to accomplish? I want people to enjoy good art. So I want to share the growth process of myself as an artist. So you know, Gary Vaynerchuk said document, don't create. I want all my drawing time to be documented, so that people can like experience this growth with me. Like I don't have time to train and like look at anatomy and reference and grind that out. But you know, as far as like freelance commission work and sharing that, and also like making work like Catholic works that I want to sell, and maybe for those I can like take my time and make the art a little bit better. Like yeah, I just want all that to be documented. This process of navigating my freelance career. Yeah. This angle is like off. I'm gonna actually redo that. Yeah, I think that's fine. Just a simple line like that. Okay. Now go into the details of the skirt here. Like there's this line that comes down this way, and then another line that comes that way. Starts up front and it kind of goes forward like that, and then goes this way. Okay. that little bar that goes across, and then remembering that this piece on the side comes this way. This way. Okay. I'm going to get in there and try to clean things up. So, okay, I want people to experience a high skill level and experience my growth in that skill level. I want people to understand, like, I guess, I don't know, I think out loud a lot here. I share a lot about life, my philosophy about life, without trying to get too far into specifics. You know, sometimes I will, but I just want to speak generally that, you know, I have a past, and doing this video series is just part of my atonement, like just a part of it. So there's that element to this. But what else? I mean, these are open-ended questions for me. I'm not here right now to like give a dissertation on something I already know. No, it's like I'm figuring this out as I go, I suppose. So high skill level, and under, like, I make that not necessarily a personal connection, but maybe, like, I want people to see who I am. But even saying that, it sounds so like the temptation for vainglory and pride is there. To connect with people, in some ways, yes. Like, what is the purpose of even making any YouTube channel at all if you're not going to make some connection with people, but rather to have a benefit on the lives of the people watching and listening? It's not necessarily to build like relationship, but because I can't possibly, Bob Ross wasn't looking to start a relationship with thousands of people. Not in the sense that it wasn't personal, but he was saying God bless. He was saying, he was teaching people. So what is the positive effect that he has? Ultimately, entertainment and education and emotions, they're all like kind of intertwined in this attention is the commodity type of world, where you want people's attention on TikTok and you get that ad revenue and gets your sponsors. Where does that come? The attention market, it comes from people finding value by giving something their attention. And I know I'm competing against people like Mr. Beast for this. The angle is kind of weird on this one. I just want to make sure that, yeah, I think this is okay. Okay. Anything else? I kind of want to take a look at line weight overall. I do want to have, since it's a chibi character, like a thicker line weight all around the border, but I think we'll do that after everything's said and done. So I want the lines to be generally thin, like more thin than what's here, I think. Because I want to attempt doing that AFK journey style with the thinner lines and focusing more on shape and color. So we're going to try it. So I'm going to be taking my eraser brush and just making, these lines kind of thin all around. Yeah, so you can almost hear my brain, kind of like the gears churning in my brain, because I'm thinking a lot but also drawing. But really the question is, how can I help you? How can I benefit you in some way? This is not like a podcast, but it can become something like that. I guess it really just depends, and I really just have to let the Spirit lead. And I'm talking about like the Holy Spirit, and just letting God, whom I believe in, just sort of lead the way. And I'm just going to keep drawing, keep talking, and allow him to perfect me, and allow whoever's watching these videos to share in that and be a witness of that. But also, okay, so getting to, okay, so returning to the idea that I have called Opus Lilium, which is like a business that I want to start per se, but it's more of a rebranding. Like the name Chokinator never really meant anything. It's just kind of a name that I made up as a kid, or my cousin made it up, and I kind of just went with it. And so it doesn't mean anything, but I came up with the name later in life, here in my 30s, rebranding myself on the internet, really. So I might even, change the name of this channel. I don't know if that would affect the viewership, but I don't really care that much, I suppose. I mean, I do care about the viewership, but I don't care about the name of the existing name of the channel, but I wonder if it affects the viewership, is what I'm thinking. But I should just change it, to go to Opus Lilium. I do have a separate account, but I don't want to start a whole nother YouTube channel. I just want to rename this one to the current name that I want to go by. And anyway, what does Opus Lilium, what does it mean? So for me, it is, hold on. I'm trying to get the contour of this chibi leg. Yeah, something like that. Something simple. Take a look at the sketch here. Yeah, something simple. So what does it mean? Opus Lilium for me was always about beauty. And as an artist and as a Christian, I do want to evangelize, bring people to God, but not in a way that's preachy. I don't want to be talking about, okay, here's the theology, here's what we believe, this is what we believe in, here's why you should believe in it, and here's the truth, and I have the truth, and I want you to have the truth. No, that's not the kind of evangelization that I want to do. It's not even something I would be good at. I'm sure there are people who can be great at that. Like I said, theologians, professors, priests, that's their job. But not me. I'm a layman. And the thing about Opus Lilium, for me, it was always about, I, as a layman and as an artist, can become beautiful by becoming great at my skills. And that I want people to experience that beauty, not because it's my beauty, but because it came from engaging with God's creation. And I, being a part of God's creation, maximizing that beauty in myself as a person, and hopefully that the art that I create will be an extension of that beauty within me. And I don't want to be like, I'm a beautiful person, but I know that if I were to be more beautiful, intellectually, physically, artistically, whatever, that it would have an effect on people, because Bishop Barron always talks about 3 transcendents that help us evangelize. There's the good, the true, and the beautiful. And I've talked about this before a little bit on the channel. And for me, it's engaging with beauty in this world in a way that leads to God. And I've had a poor relationship with beauty in my life, and especially as an artist, because it's like, one can indulge in worldly beauty, or one can understand that worldly beauty is a sign that points toward, I guess I don't want to say fabric, the substrate, or the spirit, some ethereal word I'm thinking about, the ether of through which the world is built. For me, that being God, that being the creator, the creations within all of creation made by the creator, can lead to an appreciation for the creator. And because it's like, okay, if I make this really nice anime drawing, people are gonna be like, oh, Andre, he can make good art. So the eyes might be drawn to me as a person, Because when I think of Bob Ross, I know he's made thousands of paintings, and when you see one of his paintings, it might help you to understand, oh, this reminds me of Bob Ross, and what is Bob Ross trying to say? So the person, you start wondering about, like, who is the person? And I think when you look at my art, I don't necessarily want you to be thinking, oh, who is this person? But I want to draw attention to God with my art. Now, I understand that this is commission work that I'm doing. This is just other people's ideas. But when I do my own work, my own personal work, I want it to all be like, I guess, religious now. And even if it's fiction, right? Like, I don't see myself doing fictional work in the immediate future. I've done a whole lot in my life, and it never really amounted to anything. Not that it couldn't have, but it was hard to build the means to turn it into something that was, I guess, lucrative. I was trying to succeed as a game developer, as a comic artist. And again, not to say that I can't still, but the financial structure has to be there for me. The foundation has to be there for me in order for me to continue to engage in those activities. But in the meantime, like, if I'm doing personal work, I want it to be like of the saints, about Jesus, about my faith, and really express that love. So an evangelizer via beauty. I suppose that's the whole thing about Opus Lilium. Now, Opus Lilium was inspired by Saint Joseph, pure and chaste, but also Saint Joseph the worker, Saint Joseph the protector of the Redeemer, patron saint of the entire church. All these, like, nice fancy titles for him. This should actually come over the face. And a saint that I've been really drawn to lately in my adult life, approaching the virtues of humility, chastity, and diligence, which I'm trying to really absorb that spirit into my life. I want to be a better person, and for me, Saint Joseph has been that model, foster father of Jesus. So Opus Lilium is an expression also of my devotion to Saint Joseph. I love Saint Joseph. I think he has been instrumental in my life for helping me understand what it means to be a better man, and just approaching that life that I want to have as a Christian adult, as a Christian man, a husband and a father. So all these ideas, like, I want to be able to, I guess, articulate the effect that I want to have on people so that I can target it as a goal. So I want my art and my making of the art to be documented as a beautiful experience, so that, without me really mentioning it, that the beauty would draw people toward the Creator. So in this instance, if people think my art is beautiful, they might be curious about me. And then if they're curious about me, a creation, they might be curious about the Creator, whom I love, who is God. So I think that's how I would, like, articulate it. That I want to be a work of art too. And in order for me to do that, I have to, and this isn't like something where I take full possession of myself and like show you guys like how much I can do to become beautiful and become a work of art. No, for me, this is about participating in the Creator's brushstroke. Like, if this little 2D anime character can be beautiful to the person I'm making it for, then I, as a character in God's play, as what Bishop Barron calls the theodrama, can be a beautiful character. Not a wretched, character, but willingness to suffer that fate, like whatever God puts me through, and God, allows for people to suffer. He permits people to suffer, And one person put it this way: what hero do you know that didn't suffer? So for one reason or another, suffering is just part of that design, that heroism, that pain, which could be seen as meaningless, and meaningless suffering can become redemptive, meaningful suffering. And so I've been trying to develop that virtue of mortification as well, the virtue of like willingness to suffer. I think things are starting to clear up in this piece as I keep playing with the line art, but we're going to keep going. See if we can hit it in like one shot here. So these are going to be the thigh highs, and this one is going to end, I guess, a little bit lower than that little weird looking skirt piece right here, and then this one's going to wrap around this way. So I'm going to there. So I think I got it. I think that's the overall philosophy I want to have with these videos. If the art can draw attention to the creator, which is me, then I as a creation would like to draw attention to my creator, to my creator. And I want to do that, like, not always by preaching, I don't want to say this is God, this is who he is, but I want to explore myself and develop myself. And if anyone asks, then I can talk about, okay, well, it's because I love God. Yeah. I don't remember who said, probably St. Paul, who said, be ready to give a reason for I don't remember the quote. Just be ready to give a reason, and then at that point, then I can then I have the opportunity to talk about God. I don't want to be too crazy particular about the shape of the legs here. This is a chibi character, so I'm just going to keep it a little bit cartoony. The simple angle changes, simple plane changes, simple curves. I'm not trying to make a Renaissance painting here. Okay, so here there was a fold and then a couple metal lines and then a couple metal lines down the middle. So I'm gonna go like this. We're gonna fold it. Now, this video is running long. I can feel it's running long, but I really wanted to do this in one shot. But I think we might cut the video soon just to keep this from running too long. That angle is a bit too much. I think I'm going to match that other line that I had up there. Like that. And get it a little bit less curved. A little bit straighter here. Yeah, like that. Get that fold in the fabric. So this is good. I mean, I'm learning from experience because I am taking time on all these pieces that I'm doing. How much I'm making per hour, how much I'm charging, how much I'm getting paid. Taking data on it. And taking data on these videos and trying to see how I can improve them. So, like I said, this iterative process, something is working where the videos are getting more views. So that's good. I'm just going to keep that going. And yeah, I think we'll cut it there. We're like almost done. We're really close with the line art here. But I'm not going to jump ahead and do the base colors yet. But I think I'm going to approach this a certain way. I am going to do the grayscale, the two value scale, where I just knock out the shadows, and then do a very simple multiply and overlay to put the shadows in. Maybe like do a little bit of blending, and then do the white highlights. So in my mind, the rest of the process is pretty clear. So I'm just going to try to execute that very well and very quickly. So I'll talk to you guys soon. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. God bless. Bye-bye.